Welcome back to Elder Scrolls Online with the Scholar here. Okay, so we're supposed to meet Judge Ulis. No, meet the judge at Ulis Manor. What, somebody wants to group? Why? I'm sorry, not right now. Not right now, unfortunately. I know they're probably a low-level person, so they kind of... Whoa! Alright, they're a low-level person, so they probably need some help to get this done. But we're kind of tied up right now. I hope I can find where we're supposed to be exiting. I've been thinking lately, I've always wanted to record Elder Scrolls Online in 4K. But I've not been able to do that in an efficient and effective manner on the PlayStation. The thought has crossed my mind just a few times, to switch over to the PC version of the game, just so I can bring you very high quality 4K videos. But most likely that's not gonna happen because the price is just more than I can afford to bear, honestly. It requires, just like switching class to the Warden, it requires us to restart everything all over again and forego all the progress we had made on every single thing. And that is just a price I'm not willing to pay at this moment. Let's see, The Truth in Sequence Volume 2, taken from the Sermons of Deldres Morrowind, 4th Turbulon to the Mainspring Everone. By the word, I win the gears. The will of Sothasil is the chrononymic will, the nameless will. For what is name? The Divine Metronome tells us that name is the wedge that prize gear from pinion, the residue of Lorcan's great lie that loosens the wheel chain and corrodes the frame. The Et Ada gears, named each in their way, our lessers, see this as a kindness, but the mainspring everyone calls it a curse rooted in selfish pride. To name is to cleave one from another. It is the death of Anuic convergence and the Nirn ensuing, the misassembled dragon that breathes dry falsehood and whose name is multitude. There is only one name that is not name, Set, the convergent clockwork god, whose will pumps like a piston into both then and after. Sothasil, father of mystery, whose heart drives the wheels eternal and whose blurred oils that all axle. C, the divine engine, whose mind burns they and we, and bursts the Nirn ensuing. Lesser wills are wisps of smoke, born and lost in a sea of endless sky, lost children whose freedom is death. For what is freedom, child of the tribunal? The counterlever to slavery? No, have you not heard the words in sequence? The chrononymic will is the pendulum that swings only once. It cannot do otherwise. To swing twice would break one intention from another and prove the blasphemy of two. As Padome is illusion, so too is the named will. For what is choice, if not chaos? What is free will, if not the lack of order, vulgar and triumphant? The true wheels spin clockwise, ever clockwise. In the unity of Nirn ensuing, each belongs to all and all belong to none, save Tamriel final. Anuvana C. So lay down your cheap burdens, child. Shall I do thus? Such choice is delusion. Give yourself to the pursuit of unity, for in the end you cannot do otherwise. By thy word, I win the gears. The way some of these books are written it's unbelievable. Some of these books are just written in a fashion that's just ridiculous. Song of Pelennor, we're not going to read those volumes. On the Clockwork City. I need to read this because let's see if we can learn more about the Clockwork City. By Barilzar, Mage of the Seventh Order and Artificer Extraordinaire. Yeah, we've heard a lot about the Clockwork City. Let's see if we can learn something new here. I studied at the feet of the Father of Mysteries, that's Sothasil. I learned of magic and machines from the Clockwork God. I searched for the secrets of oblivion with the inspiration of craft and sorcery. I did all this and more with the light of knowledge, the C in Almsivi, the wizard mystic of the tribunal, Sothasil. As student and disciple, I spent many long years at the Magus' side, helping to maintain and expand his ultimate creation, the Clockwork City. Now, rumors and stories and exaggerations galore persist about the fabled complex. The purpose of this book is to neither confirm nor deny these tales. Instead, I plan to add to the mystery and the extraordinary wonder of the place. Hopefully, my old master will approve. Let's start with a few basic turns of the gear as I reveal a secret but wrap it in mystery. The Clockwork City is a giant complex the size of a world, but it fits inside a glass dome no larger than a good-sized match. Here's another contradiction. Sothasil was definitely inspired by the technology of the Dwemer, but the brass tunnels, giant gears, electrical fountains, and lightning falls are all uniquely the creation of the Magus of the Three. Finally, while it is said that the Clockwork City is a painstaking recreation of Nirn itself, quite the opposite is potentially true. The complex is the perfection of Nirn as imagined by the Clockwork God. I spent much of my apprenticeship adjusting cogs and regulating the flow of energy, but my happiest memories consist of tinkering in one of Sothasil's many workshops, fabricantoriums, and ateliers, which is just a fancier way to say workshop. But the magus loved to play with obscure words almost as much as the warrior poet. I loved participating in the endless and varied experiments that were constantly being performed throughout the city. We studied everything, always looking for a new theory to test or devise to improve. We build it because we can, Sothasil told me, but what I heard him say was we build it because it's fun. Here's another mystery to ponder. You must humble yourself and become modest to enter the Clockwork City. Indeed, there's no room inside for anything larger than a shroom beetle, but once you gain entry, it's larger than anyone could ever fully explore. Contemplate that while the gears turn, I dare you. The city has residents, as any city should. Some, like the fabricants, were specifically created to fulfill necessary roles, but others live within the complex as well. Sothasil's current students and disciples wander the brass tunnels, maintaining the endless series of experiments that require monitoring and constant minute adjustments. There are also those the magus invited to become part of one experiment of another, as well as the extraneous cast-offs, lost travelers, and travel-planar explorers. I've had some of the most interesting conversations ever with those I met in the Clockwork City. Finally, you have probably heard that Sothasil can forge the future using the Clockwork City. Certainly, the contrivances that spring from this well of invention will one day beat the world into a shape most pleasing to the Father of Mysteries. Beyond that, I cannot say. It is also said that the Clockwork City can be used to reshape the world. I won't reveal the meaning of that cryptic phrase, but I will confirm that those pistons palm true. Now I have my own experiments to return to. There's never enough time in the day. Yeah, I remember we had to shrink down to size to get into the Clockwork City. There's a DLC coming out, and we'll hopefully get to explore more of that. For now, let's talk to the judge. Wayrest Guard General Order 2247, equal treatment for all Covenant citizens. It has come to my attention that members of the Guard have failed to show proper respect for citizens of the Orcish persuasion, such as are seen more and more often these days within our walls. There have been reports of sneering, of spitting, of improper amorous propositions, and of suggestions that places other than Wayrest might be more appropriate destinations, and that the sooner the Orcish citizen went there, the better. This will not be tolerated. These Orcish citizens are now our allies and deserve the same protection under the law as normal people. I don't care about the tusks. Get over it. Any guard found mistreating an orc who didn't deserve it will be suspended without pay for a period appropriate to the gravity of the misconduct. This is not a joke. I'm serious. Matthias Etienne, Guard Captain. Let's talk to the Scarlet Judge.
Ah, true to your word. I knew I could trust you. I led the Iron Hounds on a merry chase, but I doubt they'll stay scattered for long. What of your search? Did you find any evidence of Hlaalu's corruption?
I found evidence that may implicate Marshal Hlaalu.
I see my faith in you was not misplaced. We will discuss your evidence and more, but not in this hall. You trusted me and helped me gather the evidence I needed. Now, I shall trust you with a secret I have carried for years. Come, follow me.
After you. Something told me he was going to go through the bookshelf. We've read that. No, actually we've not. What is this? Skin Blights by Any Other Name by Revorsa Idrum, House Healer. I've been asked by the prominent noble from Rotherham, Hlaalu, to expound upon the bane of long-suffering dark elves everywhere, skin blights. These pox care little for economic or social standing. Poor or rich, young or old, skin pestilences can affect anyone and seem to have a preference for the Dunmer complexion. They range from mild annoyances to destructive infestations that leave disfigurement and even death in their wake. The Council of Dunmer Healers, where healing masters from each house gather to exchange information and work together to deal with plagues and diseases at the behest of all the tribunal, have dubbed all skin-related illnesses as corpus, using the ancient Velothi word for skin blight. Like other plagues that ravage the land, corpus maladies have both natural and unnatural origins. Sometimes an alchemical or even magical version of a blight gets loose to devastate the public. Take, for example, the Flay Blight of 565. Throughout that long and scorching summer, a terrible affliction ravaged the western shore of Vardenfell. Hundreds upon hundreds of dark elves contracted rashes that irritated the skin and blotched the skin. Irritated the flesh and blotched the skin. After an extensive investigation by the Council of Healers, it was categorically concluded that the Flay Blight was the direct result of a change to the alchemical formula of a mystic's majestic face cream. As to why the Dunmer integument seems to be notoriously susceptible to corpus maladies, well, the best I can offer is theory and conjecture. Some believe that the Dunmer people are ill-favored by fate, which makes us particularly predisposed to skin blights and other irritations. Others claim that our ruthless and distrustful nature makes our blood run hot, allowing all manner of disease to breed and take root in our bodies. As a healer, I have found no clear proof of such thermal differences between a dark elf or, say, an orc or a Nord, although we do appear to run warmer than Orgonians, but that's the subject for another report. There are also those who hold to the old religions and see corpus and other blights as direct evidence of Malakut's fury against the Dunmer, the god of curses. They believe tests us by sending affliction after affliction that pushes our physical prowess and overall health to its limits. As a healer and alchemist, I try to leave myth and religion outside when I enter the realm of methodical theorizing. My studies, which include treating the afflicted Dunmer and reviewing the work of reputable healers throughout Morrowind and the neighboring lands, leads me to conclude that most natural corpus outbreaks, including inflammation and discoloration, as well as flaking and slowing of corrupted flesh or an outbreak of blisters or ulcerations, appear to be the result of unsanitary conditions, unbalanced humors, or minuscule creatures of foul and ill-tempered disposition. Of course, many of my colleagues scoff at such theories, preferring to believe that every action results from either the interplay of magicka, or the movement of celestial bodies, or other traditional views of healing and sickness. In conclusion, the best method for avoiding corpus blights of all varieties is to bathe often, wear clean garments, and eat and drink only the purest of foods and liquors. If it makes you feel any better, you can also mutter a protective prayer to ward off Malakut's unwanted attentions. The Tribunal knows such arcane rituals probably won't make your chances of contracting a blight any worse, and they'll probably make you feel more comfortable. How the Yokudans chase the stars. And the Yokudans, who was also called the Starmen, studied the stars and uncharted their movements. He saw that when the warrior was high in the sky, victory followed. And when the warrior was gone from the sky, came famine and desolation. He charted this cycle across the seasons. Through 2 risings and settings, he recorded the warrior's astral path. And the Starman said to his kinsmen, "Let us follow the warrior, find the place where he rests, and pledge ourselves to him so that victory will follow us all our days. Then never again will we suffer famine and desolation." And it was agreed. The Starman led the Yokudans by the ship, following the path of the warrior across mountains and vast deserts. And victory followed them, and famine and desolation fled before them. And the warrior's charges were 3, the Lord, the Lady, and the Steed. And they paid homage to these with gifts and incense. And where the warrior was at his apex, they ended their journey. There they built a temple and a tomb for all warriors who had died on the journey, and in death the warrior honored them and made them his eternal guardians, undying as the stars and as numerous. The place where they stopped has not been marked on any map. Any who wish to find it must only do as they did and follow the warrior. Okay, let's go in. What's the secret you've been keeping?
My mentor used her wealth to better others, not herself. Having inherited her manner, I now do the same.
So, what do we do about Marshal Hlaalu?
This evidence proves Hlaalu's guilt, but there's no telling how deep the corruption goes. There's only one person I trust with this information, Constable Gretgar. I fear I must ask more of you.
What more do you need?
My observations of Hlaalu suggest paranoia bordering on obsession. If she suspects that anyone is moving against her, she'll no doubt summon her Iron Hounds. If a melee breaks out in Suran, innocents will suffer. That's something I can't abide.
So what's the alternative?
If Constable Gretgar's going to arrest the Marshal without a fight, we'll have to distract her mercenaries. I'll deal with the constables. You raid the Iron Hound camp in the Daedric ruins outside Suran. Burn their weapons and destroy their supplies.
Okay, I'll make sure the Iron Hounds are distracted. Nothing really here. We've read about ethereal fragments. Let's take a look here. Yeah, Truth and Sequence, we're gonna skip that for now because we've read about 3 lore books already in this video. And if we keep reading more, unfortunately we will not make much progress in this video. So for now, let's keep moving. The Ironhound camp seems to be down here. Seems to be pretty close, so... Okay, so we need to burn weapon caches and smash supply crates. Just take this one out pretty fast.
Alarms! We're under attack!
Absolutely, you are under attack. Captain Cetus. This must be their leader.
Fire! Fire!
That must be their leader. We just took them out, but... Okay, good. These are actually instances.
Find that damn saboteur!
The Saboteur. Reminds me of that PlayStation 3 game. One of the best games of the PlayStation 3 era. Take some ginger here. thought they were dead.
Useless! No one leaves until we clean up this mess!
Guess we cannot mount yet because the these guys are still in battle, probably. See, is this on the map? I think we put that on the map already.
You there! You've been selected for a random search! Come here at once!
Ridiculous. I'm sorry, Talena, but my wife is...
Oh yeah, a random search.
Follow me quietly, away from the gates. We have a judge in common.
Oh, okay. Okay, she's not corrupt. I thought she was trying to pull something.
This'll do. Just keep your voice down. Sorry about this cloak and dagger nonsense. I can't be seen talking to anyone even remotely suspicious right now. Marshal Hlaaru's watching me like a hawk.
So why is Marshal Hlaaru watching you?
She's on the lookout for anyone who might be colluding with the Scarlet Judge. I'm a friend of House Ald'ruhn, but that'll only get you so far in this town. Especially with Hlaaru's iron hounds prowling around. But look, we've got bigger problems.
Like what?
There was an ambush. Somehow Marshal Hlaaru found out the Scarlet Judge was coming. Must have been one of the plantation owners. Damn their eyes! I wasn't fast enough. They've jailed him. And if I know Hlaaru, they plan to do much worse.
So how do you know he's still alive?
Hlaaru needs him to recant his accusations, publicly. Probably got one of her hounds working him over right now, trying to squeeze out a confession. The judge will hold out as long as he can, but everyone breaks eventually. We've got to get him out.
How do we do that?
I'd let you into the prison myself, but Hlaaru doesn't trust me with the keys. I've got the respect of her constables and the house, but my hands aren't dirty enough for her. You're going to have to find the key.
Any idea where I can find one?
Constable Kren will snatch up a bribe without batting an eye. If you're short on coin, try convincing Suran's locksmith Remas to cut you a deal. Or you could talk to Dredini down at Desolace. She might know something. Just be discreet, all right?
Yeah, alright, so how do you know the Scarlet Judge?
Oh, the judge and I go way back. The two of us, along with the former marshal, kept this town safe for decades. But when the marshal died and Hlaaru took over, well, everything sort of fell apart.
How did you come to work with a vigilante?
Ha! Is that what we're calling him now? It wasn't too long ago slavery was legal in Morrowind. Buying and selling people was legal right here in Suran. That sound right to you? The judge keeps us honest. Sometimes the law just gets in the way.
Okay. So, we need to find a way to get a key. Talk to Constable Kren. Tilrena Sildreth. She's not part of what we're trying to do here.
There goes another client who's known me for years. Not a proper mage, they say. Rubbish! By Vec, if I get my hands on that fetcher from Somerset, I'll wring his scrawny golden neck.
What's going on?
Just watching my business fall into ruin. People used to rely on me to heal their children and mend their injuries, but now it's all Menaldinian this and Menaldinian that. Damned guild lackey. He's even pinning up signs to slander my work.
Why would a mage's guild wizard try to steal your business?
The Cretan's saying I'm not a mage, but I am. I just happen to love alchemy. He must think there's a lot of coin to be made here. The fool. If I get my hands on him, I'll... sorry, dark elf temper. It's just that this business is my life.
Maybe I could talk to him. Perhaps it's all a misunderstanding.
Thank you for helping me, Sarah. Honestly, it means a lot. The rascal's name is Menel. You'll find him sliming around that new shop of his, the Gauche High Elf Clinic just south of here.
Yeah, I'm not gonna dive too much into this.
Even if you hadn't destroyed those shipments, I'm sure the Tribunal would have stopped the plague before it reached Molag.
Yeah, I'm not gonna dive too deeply into that. First, let's try to find a key.
Hey, who let you in here? I'm quite busy at the moment. Come back another time.
I'm told you created the keys for Suran prison?
I create a great many keys for a great many doors in Suran and beyond. I'm a well-respected craftsman. But wait, why do you care if I create keys for prisons? You'll find no prison keys here, you ruffian.
Well, I'd like a key to Suran's prison. Would you like to keep your knees intact?
Now, there's no need for violence. You're one of those iron hounds, aren't you? A pox on the lot of you. I have keys I made for the new recruits just this morning. Just take one and get out. If anyone comes to harm in that prison, I'll... just go.
Yeah, unfortunately, you have us confused for the bad guys. Let's see, on our enemies. I think this will be the last book we read for this video. The peoples of the Daggerfall Covenant are a strong and diverse group. It is our differences that help us be strong. We complement each other. This is not true of the other races of Tamriel. The Elves. The High Elves who rule over the lesser races in Ald'ruhn Dominion are without a doubt the most arrogant of the elf races, which is saying quite a bit. High Elves believe that they are the direct descendants of the Aedra. They rule over the Wood Elves and Khajiit, while giving them token positions within the ruling hierarchy to keep them content. Rumors of hard punishments for disobedience cannot be confirmed, as any dissidents quickly disappear. The Wood Elves are a barbaric people who are willing to submit to High Elf rule as long as their practices of cannibalism are allowed to continue. What? I didn't know that. They eat their enemies and even one another. They worship the trees of Valenwood, refusing to cut them down or harm the animals that live there. Who does things like that? The Dark Elves of Morrowind are almost as bad as the High Elves. The tribunal rulers of the Dark Elves have convinced their people that they are living gods, possessing great powers and immortality. These old wizards openly imitate what was called the Good Daedra as part of their Dark Elf ancestral worship, the Beast races. The Khajiit are the cat people of Elsewhere. Many rumors exist about the Khajiit, and they are certainly all true. The Khajiit are a society of thieves and addicts. Wow. Most spend their time consuming vast quantities of the addictive substance distilled from moon sugar. Thievery is second to nature to these cats, as stealing often supports their addictions. Argonians are the lizard folk of the Black Marsh. Little is known about their culture save for a few rumors and lots of hearsay. It is known that they believe they originate from the trees that grow in the Black Marsh. The environment of the marsh has given the Argonians a resistance to toxic substances found there. The society of Black Marsh is primitive by the standards of the other races. Humans. The Nords are the hardened fork of the Noth. Hailing from Skyrim, these brutes live for war and conquest. When not fighting others, the Nords fight amongst themselves. The Nords are not a very bright people. It seems that the thin air in Skyrim has led to a stunting of the mental capacity of the Nords. The Cyrodiils are a cunning and ruthless people. The central location of Cyrodiil has given them contact with all the races of Tamriel and made them fine traders and diplomats. It has also made them very shrewd with silver tongues and cheating ways. They have a sense of entitlement to rule. Of all the enemies of the Daggerfall Covenant, it is the people of Cyrodiil that are the most dangerous. Okay, that was quite an interesting book to read. Alright, we're about half an hour in. I think we're just gonna get back outside. Let's take a look at this bookshelf here and see if there's anything interesting in it. No, nothing there. Alright, so we're half an hour in. We're going to take a break, and we'll be right back with more Elder Scrolls Online.